Welcome back to day 2 of the RBCDL history of the first year. Welcome back to History 127. Thank you for joining me again in class. Hopefully you enjoyed the first class. If there's any questions, I will always field those at the end of class time, so leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Today, we're going to get into Season 2, and this one's going to be a little more rapid fire, so stay with me, class. Be sure, grab your notebooks out, take some notes. I see you over there, Slew, so you better start taking notes, MTSU. I noticed you last class and you were not taking notes. You were too busy typing in the chat the entire time and joking around with your classmates. So this time you better be paying attention out here, and because I do take notice. And with that being said, let's get into this. So Season 1, we left off with Wake Forest blowing everyone out of the water, 9-37 in the season, and going from straight 1 seeds to taking the playoffs easily. But a valiant effort by Colorado State and UTSA, as well as Utah State in there as well. Moving into Season 2, we have the Tankers from Season 1, who some of them, again, negative like 500. Some of them just a cool, calm, collected negative 16, negative 17. Negative 16, I guess it would be if you're losing by 1 every game. That range, you want to target that negative 16 again, so you're building your players up by not losing your fan base too much and also not just wasting your potential in the games. So, Season 2, we have Wake Forest, Colorado State, Utah State, UTSA, Iowa State. Those people like that, they are now on D16. We have some people, for instance, Old Commish on D9. There's a little discrepancy with that difficulty range. So, regardless, it ended up making for an interesting season, to say the least, and this is why we do not play on Dynamic now. We all play on the same difficulty. But to kick us off, we have Wake Forest, Triple Crown, season, I think, 5 or 6 with the Lions, season 1 with Wake, and then they just won season 6 or 7 with the Lions, whichever one. They won 2 back-to-back with the Lions and Wake in between. Wake Forest enters in as the number 3 seed in the CFP. For the CFP this year, we have Coastal Carolina with 784, Hawaii with 794, Iowa State 796, Bowling Green 847, Utah State 854, Wake Forest 855, Michigan 886, and Kansas State 899. I know Kansas State, Michigan, Utah State, Bowling Green, Hawaii, aka Old Commish. 5 of the 8 CFP teams are no longer in the league. Colorado State was number 9, followed by Vandy at number 10. So even back in the day, Mr. Rose Bowl was right there at number 10. Even back in the day. Colorado State, Vandy in the Rose Bowl. What a Rose Bowl, man. That's a classic. ESPN classic right there. But Coastal Carolina barely edges out Colorado State. So only 3 teams, Iowa State, Wake Forest, and Coastal Carolina, conveniently, which all 3 are were commissions and all 3 are captains now. So shout out to my boys Iowa State and Coastal Carolina for staying strong with me here. And yeah, Kansas State on D9, blowing everyone out of the water this year. And everyone thought Kansas State and Michigan were so great, but they didn't realize the difficulties. Wake and Iowa State with an 855 and a 796 respectively on the D16. And those are the only 2 D16 teams from Utah State too with 854. All 3 of those teams, those are the only 3 D16 teams in the playoffs. So we had 5 coaches that aren't here, and 5 of them that also aren't on D9. So Wake Forest and Iowa State, 2 of the coaches, D16, that are still here, and then Coastal Carolina, 1 coach on D9. So those are the top 8. Again, Coastal Carolina, Colorado State and Vandy in the Rose Bowl. What a classic. I'm not exactly sure who won that one. I'm not going to make a guess because I literally have no idea. That was so long ago. And again, if it's not CFP, I don't really care. But if I had to make an assumption, Mr. Rose Bowl, that's why he's got the name, right? We have this D16 versus D9 final going on here. We expanded to an 8-team playoff, if you can't tell by now, but everything's still the same. There's no conference tournaments. Same old spreadsheets made by BC. Again, correction that video. Yeah, Old Commish still running everything by himself. This is mainly where like conference tournaments and head-to-head schedules are being brought up to him, and he's just ignoring them. So whatever. We go into it. And Coastal Carolina did not even want to be in the playoffs at this point. When he made it as the 8 seed, he literally went on a panic attack on Twitter, tweeting out at least 5 tweets about how he effed up and he messed up and he was so screwed. He did not think he was going to make it. Oh my gosh, what did he just do? Now he's in the finals with Wake and Bowling Green and Utah State and Kansas State, Michigan, and all these teams who are still on D9 because at this time there was no plan to transition to medium, so you could keep tanking and keep losing the Retro Bowl if you wanted to keep having that edge of like, okay, well, I'm going to win my first 2 playoff games, hopefully get the bonus. If not, it's okay because I'm still on D9 and I can be set up again to make the CFP next season. So the fact that we had those three D16 teams really grinded because D16 is essentially 2 times harder than D9. That D16 is the highest one it goes up to. It was equivalent to hard at the time, so probably about in between hard and extreme now, because the old medium is now kind of the hard. So it's kind of in between. It's kind of in between hard and extreme now, as far as the difficulty for D16, and then D9 is probably about in between medium and hard now. So it's a little harder than the medium now, but it wasn't as hard is now. So it was pretty cake, honestly. So, anyways, Coastal Carolina freaking out, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know if he should win the Retro Bowl or not because again, some of these teams are, even though they're in the CFP, for instance, OG Commish, in the CFP, literally lost the Retro Bowl on purpose because he wanted to be back at the next year. Didn't work out for him. I don't think that he made it actually back next year, but well, we'll get into why he didn't make it back next year. But he did purposefully lose the Retro Bowl that year for whatever reason. So, anyways, Coastal Carolina doesn't even want to be in the CFP at this point. They would have gladly passed it to Colorado State, and they thought they were going to pass it to Colorado State. Colorado State didn't have the best segment 3, and they were in the playoff race before. Coastal Carolina was in the teens, and they made that LA Tech jump, as I like to call it, the jump from the low teens to number 8. So Coastal Carolina enters in at number 8, going up against Kansas State, Michigan, Wake Forest, Utah State in the top 4. And Bowling Green, BGSU, used to be a powerhouse here. And can't forget Iowa State back before the move and the wedding, back before he had a heel out on his hands, and then OG Commish. So a solid group of 8 players right here. And what can I say except D9 prevailed. Coastal Carolina, I don't remember the exact scores. Coastal Carolina, I do remember the point differential. Beat Wake Forest by +3. Coastal Carolina takes the championship over the defending champ, the Big Deeks, by 3 points. The Panzer way, the 3 points. Just 3 points. So, wow. From a D9 to D16, that is insane. Personally, as Wake Forest, it was gut-wrenching, seeing as just the difficulty range. I didn't feel cheated out of it because, I mean, I won the last year, and I knew it was all part of the game and all part of strategy. And props to Coastal Carolina for doing it. Props to you, Sparty. I didn't feel cheated out of it. Super proud of Sparty, and I'm super happy for him. So there's no ill will or harbored feelings on that. There is a regret of I do wish I could have won that championship and got the quadruple crown and kept it going. But all props to my man Sparty, and that's why we're bitter rivals to the day. So if you ever hear me call my rival, that just know that's why. It's really dating back to season 2 when he beat me by 3 singular points when I was playing on a difficulty twice as hard as him. So I still give him crap about that. But he has the ring to shut me up. So what do I know? Anyways, couple of things from season 2 to wrap up real quick. We have Kaiser Adenyai, the receiver from Coastal Carolina, beating out Sage Surratt for the Heisman. Sage tried to go back-to-back, but Kaiser really shut him down with that championship win, and I believe he won by a few votes. We also had the very controversial sex bot on Twitter, which was made by suspiciously, it was never 100% confirmed, but it is like 99% confirmed that this bot was made by OG Spreadsheet Maker, aka the FCS commish, OG Boston College. And this man, if you were in the RBCDL, you definitely remember this night. It was a night at 2 in the morning on some random weekend in the pandemic, some random weekend, like Saturday night, 2 in the morning, and this man creates a bot of like his girlfriend or wife, whatever, some sex bot and then this is also back when we have lawyers and lawsuits with the community as well. There used to be retro bowl lawyers and retro bowl courthouses, if you can believe that, and people would sue. For instance, Boston College brought up a ordeal because in season 1 they tanked a bowl game because, again, they wanted to stay on D9. So they lost the bowl game, and it was actually, no, it was this season. It was season 2. Season 2, they lost the bowl game, -1, or they scored like -20, but their opponent didn't turn in scores. So OG Commish just called it the bowl's canceled, like anyone in the right mind would. But OG Boston College argued that a negative score entered is better than no score entered at all. What do you guys think in the comments below? Do you think that he tried to claim it was a forfeit because the other team didn't even show up, so his negative score didn't even count because the other team didn't show up and didn't even have an opportunity for his forfeit to count, or for his negative points to count, which is a good point. But at the same time, should you be awarded for a win for trying to lose a bowl game on purpose? I don't know how that would work, or scoring negative on purpose. Again, this is the entire reason why we had to create a rule for negative points, and it mainly was because of this crap. And then he tried to sue the OG Commish, quote unquote, sue him in Retro Bowl, and it ended up being taken to the court. OG Commish didn't even show to the court, so the court ruled in favor of Boston College. Nothing ever happened. Eventually, season 3, there's another court case which we'll get into next season between Wake Forest and Iowa State, which was hilarious. But season 2, the very first court case, there was just one retro bowl lawyer and one retro courthouse before there was like 3 or 4. Yes, there were 3 or 4 retro bowl lawyers. We didn't have very much time on our hands back in the day. What can I say? And Boston College wins the lawsuit on the bowl game, but of course OG Commish has all the power, just like I talked about last episode, and our last lecture, and there is no way Boston College got those points back. So Boston College, also in the middle of his court's lawsuits, just because he didn't have enough on his hand with the lawsuits, he creates a bot at 2 a.m, follows literally everyone in the Retro Bowl community to where we're all getting followed by this bot, and everyone's posting like who let the bot in, and he's the only one following it. Boston College is the only one following the bot, so we don't know how, whatever. But then he starts talking about on his bot is tweeting at his Boston College account, and his Boston College account is responding to the bot, and the bot is tweeting it back at the Boston College account. So there's this interaction going back between himself and the OG Commish and the lawyer and whatever. And OG Commish is like, you can literally beat me in court, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then the freaking bot is like, you can beat me whenever, or something like that. You can lay the smackdown on me whenever and penetrate me whenever, or whatever. I don't even know what the crap it's saying. And then Boston College has the audacity to say something about taking the bot to his dorm room and laying the law down on there. What is going on? This is all at 2 a.m. with just some horny teenager. I have no idea what's going on, but the entire league was just brought to the freaking craziness that was this bot caused by Boston College's freaking horniness in the middle of the night. So I have no idea what was going on, but this is also happening right between season 2 and season 3, I believe, or at the beginning of season 2. It was at the beginning of season 2 or at the end of season 2, one of the two. But I think it was at the end of season 2 again, because it was after he lost the bowl game. I have no idea what's going on. It was one of the funniest nights in Retro Bowl history, though. I don't think that the bot and his conversation was funny. I just think all the comments and commentary of literally everyone being so confused on this bot and everyone blaming him, and he was like, "It's not me, guys," and we were like, "Bro, you're the only one following him, following her or it or whatever, following yourself." I should say. So we had a little self-promotion going on there, but in the wrong way. So Boston College was about to receive a postseason ban for season 3 because, again, OG Commish had all the power he wanted to. He could ban you for whatever he wanted. We, as the new commissioners, understand that some of our punishments are a bit harsh, but we try to at least be fair, and I think when you have this perspective of where the league has really come from, you can see the steps that we've taken to really make the league fair. And I'm not trying to prop ourselves up on a pedestal or say that we're awesome, because we definitely have our flaws, and the rules definitely have their weaknesses at some areas, and that's why we try to correct them. But I do know that the rules that we have in place now are a lot better than just the commission banning you because he wants to ban you, postseason ban you, because you're getting on his nerves with your bot and with your lawsuit. Nowadays, if you have a bot in a lawsuit, I mean, I don't recommend it. Please don't. I realize I'm setting myself up by saying this, but if you have a bot in a lawsuit, there's not much we can really do to you. I mean, except just politely ask you to stop. But as far as turning in scores or anything, you're not doing anything wrong. So, but Boston College almost got the postseason ban. I can't say I blame the old commish because he was being super annoying, but it just seemed a little unfair, seeing as there was no incriminating evidence. But regardless, I don't want to take that away from Coastal Carolina's first championship, Sparty's first of his rings now, and that's the beginning of the legend of Sparty and the end of the dynasty for Wake Forest. Wake Forest will continue, and Vols and Villa Vols, they continue to go to the CFP, but there's been no rings won by Wake Forest or the Volunteers or the Villa Vols. That isn't recently until Coach Hop just won, but that will wrap it up for Season 2. It was a little longer than I wanted, but I completely forgot about that BC bot and felt like that was definitely worth elaborating on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you were able to keep up and take notes. If not, again, you can press the replay button. That's what it's here for. And I will see you later for Season 3. And remember, Season 27 score, and we'll get those rankings for you soon. So thank you guys. Have a nice day. Peace.